Welcome back to another episode of the Bear Trap, a Bears podcast by a Bears fan. I'm your host, Terry, and today going over to the film to look at the Dave Montgomery run game versus the Detroit Lions. Before we get started, just wanted to make sure you're aware that the film uploads, or the coaching film, I should say, uploads on Tuesday. I guess that's just the NFL schedule. I was hoping since we played on Thursday, it would have been up during the holiday break, but it wasn't. So unfortunately, I'm just getting it now, or I'm getting around to it now. So as far as this week and next week, it's the end of the semester. So just bear with me. No pun intended, because I probably won't be able to do as much content as frequently. So, but after that, I'll be on break for a while. So got that. But as of now, I just wanted to make sure I got a couple episodes out, with some film. So anyway, you know how this works by now. If you've been watching, we're going to check out the run game. Again, looking at David Montgomery. Only about 16 plays here. We know statistically they did a little better. We also know statistically the Lions aren't a great defense. So all that in mind, we're just going to go ahead and get this started. All right, so let's full screen this. So we're at an I formation. No tight end. 3 receivers. And we do a toss. And remember, we got the nice return, so we have a short field. And we get a mid-sized gain. So let's check this play out. I just knew it was going to do that. I don't know why the film likes jumping around like that. Actually, that's more than the mid-size. Looked like he ended up getting about 9 yards. All right, so let's slow it down here. So you got Allen Robinson on the inside blocking the edge. That allows Lucas to get out and around in 81. Now, actually, Miller's reduced, so I guess Allen Robinson cracks down. Yep. Well, they reduced him down on the motion, but they both help out on the edge. Now, Miller should have stayed with that guy, but that's fine. So Holtz comes up, picks up a nice block. I mean, it's just a good movement block. Honestly, you run into the open space, so it's not even like you have to block everybody. But tosses are always best schematically, and when you're doing it to the correct area. It's just not going to be a play that you're able to just kill people with. All right, so one of our favorite plays, the inside zone. Now let me go back. We do get a nice gain, so remember, I always talk about the 3-way go when we're talking about the inside zone. So we got play side B gap, we got backside A gap, and we got cutback. So at the mesh point, when he gets the ball, you can see there's a linebacker waiting in the B gap. A gap is also closed, so cutback's open. So just individually, you see Lucas do a nice job. And I'm not sure which player that is, if that's a linebacker or a safety. Kind of looks like a linebacker, excuse me. But anyway, turns him. So that's a good job to, again, put your butt to the play. Coward's standing up a little too high, but he's working to get his butt to the play to turn to make sure this B gap is open. And that defender's in position where he could counter or whatever. So then you got Cody, 1-for-1. And then we got the last man is a 2 up to the linebacker, because really they don't have any other linebacker here. They put everybody on the edge, which for inside zone helps you, because when people are on the edge, you want to go up through the middle, and they only got one defender. And then Holtz does a nice job on the outside. So that's what we're looking at the play. Now, as you see, it collapse a little, but this is where it's the running back's job to make that work. So he sees the natural crease to the backside. Holtz now collapses and the backside gets destroyed. And then exactly what you figured would happen by looking at that freeze frame, Coward's man counters and gets into the action. So it was nice when I paused it, but now you pause it again, the backside's completely crashed down. And remember how terrible blocking tight ends Shaheen is and Burton and how much better all these other tight ends are? Yeah. So anyway, no tight end is I would say no tight end can block, but no tight end is better than a lineman at blocking, unless it's a terrible lineman, of course. But anyway, so the backside crashes down. Linebacker is in pursuit mode to the ball. So what happens is the play side B gap opens back up, and Montgomery makes the jump cut to daylight. Now, to me, the difference in that play is the speed at which Montgomery is running. If you watched me before, you know I've mentioned that he needs to be more patient, pressing the line so he can make decisions. And you can see in that case, he was a lot more patient, and that way he was able to make decisions. Because if he would have ran head first, full speed at the line, he wouldn't have been able to bounce back and make that jump cut. All right, so now we got a power play. And yeah, that one doesn't need too much explanation. I mean, there's other issues on the line, but James Daniels cannot get blown up in the hole by the linebacker on a power play. I mean, not say he can, but that doesn't mean the play is completely over, but it's not a good look. It's hard to come back from that. But he gets blown up back into the line, and the linebacker doesn't go with him. So that's a great job by Jared Davis. That's how you want to come downhill, and something he would have never done in Florida. So nice to see him developing. But anyway, so everybody else blocks back. And you know what? It's a pretty solid job. It's a pretty solid job. I take that back. I mean, there was not much anybody else could do on that. No need to stick around on that play. James Daniels, yeah, definitely someone that people are going to keep their eye on. So it looks like another inside zone. A little bit of a minimal gain. Looks like 3 to 4 yards. So the snap's off, and that is becoming the issue. And this is interesting. So we'll talk about three-way go. We'll look at what's happening. Now they do have a 5-man front. So again, they have guys on the edge. So we'll be here, and then 2 to 1, and then 81 has backside. So I keep forgetting to slow it. So let's see what happens on that play. All right, so first of all, this is a zone to the right, and yes, you want to secure first level, but Daniels shouldn't be going to the left. You should always be stepping play side, because look where Leno's feet are. That means Leno's in position to step to the right as he is and overtake this block, which means Daniels should be on to the next block. So this is just a case of waiting too long to, climb to the next level, and also not very good technique, because now what Daniels is doing is he's in Leno's way, so Leno can't take over the block. So this should have been a zone step to the right, and he should have been stepping to the right the whole time instead of trying to, because now you got the play side B is closed, but the backside A is open, but there's a linebacker sitting there. And then they get the late block because Daniels is late on his block. But nice patient running, sees the little opening, and just takes it for what he can. And honestly, with that 5-man front, the inside zone play should have hit pretty well throughout this game if they were blocking it correctly. But again, when you keep putting tight ends on the edge and expect them to block defensive linemen and linebackers, bad things happen. All right, so another inside zone, late with the receiver who came on. Somebody must have been hurt because he came on late just for a play and then left, I remember. So inside zone again. Now, I mean, again, we're in good position schematically. They're not in the 5-man line here, but we're just in good position because Cody Whitehair has the block sealed, and so Daniels is free to go up to the next level. The edge, they don't block the edge, so they make it like a read, a zone read, excuse me. So pretty much treating him like a read key so they don't have to block him, which is smart because now you pretty much take him out of the play without blocking him. The problem, though, is that when you're looking at the wave of the zone, you would say go to play side B gap. There's no one there. That's where it's moving. And you even got this, but I would say play side B. The problem is he decides to cut it backside where there's two open defenders. Well, Coward should get here, but you got one unblocked defender. And so, I probably would have pressed the B gap. But it's I don't know if to say we're getting better inside zone, but we were more effective this game, so it was nice to see that though. So it looks like we ran another power, this time at a different formation. And what you have is a good job by the defensive line. Because essentially what happens, besides Daniels being a little slow, but he gets to the open gap, which is the job on this pull. The problem is there's no movement with Massey. There's no movement with Coward. 96 and 99 are still on the line of scrimmage. So maybe you could have got a double here. I don't know. But backside is fine, but there's just no movement. And so it's going to be not only hard for the running back, but it's hard for the puller to get through. And since the puller doesn't get through, you got your safety wide open, who's the second level defender, and he's able to make a play. If you were able to move Daniels a little more down the line, then it's two Daniels. If you move Mike Daniels down the line a little more, then James Daniels will have more space to come through, block him, and you're talking about a nice play. But as it stands, Daniels blows that up, and then Holtz loses his block at the end as well. And most of the time when we run power, it's the edge that beats us, and that time it was a little bit of both. All right. A little shift, basically an I formation. Looks like we ran an ISO. So I guess that was a safety blitz. That looks like Tavon Wilson out of U And so with the safety blitz, you had an extra defender coming to the picture, technically. So we run the inside, or this is the ISO actually. So now, honestly, we got two problems here. Because the ISO wasn't even to that side. The first problem we got is this double team. Whitehair and Coward don't do a good job communicating and securing the second level. So earlier we talked about staying on the double too long. This is an example of leaving the double too early, getting your eyes big and trying to get to this linebacker. You got to secure this first level first. So Coward leaves the double team, and Whitehair is not in position to handle 98 by himself. And so that kind of messes up the timing. And so now, instead of a gap to run to, he has to bounce it back. And this isn't straight ISO. I forgot what you would call this. But you had the lead block to the opposite side. And so now he has to bounce back to the lead block, which is fine. We're looking pretty good on this side, at least to give him a little bit of a gap. But the problem is backside, you had a safety blitz that shot past the receiver, so now you got extra pursuit. And that's exactly where Montgomery goes into, but he's able to evade that tackle. But all of it is kind of messed up because he has to bounce back because of that missed double team. So right here, 98. Not sure if that's Snacks or who that is. Or I think Snacks is hurt. And so that just blew it up. He had to completely bounce it back. And now you're bouncing back towards blockers who don't know you're coming. And so they're not going to have the right angle. I missed what quarter this is. All right, so out of the gun, inside zone again. Starting to look like a college spread team. Inside zone, inside zone. That's what a lot of people run. And so again, we're looking pretty good. And what we do is we do the zone read look again so we don't block the edge, which I think is a smart idea because Trubisky's not slow, plus we are not doing a good job blocking the edge. All right, so let's look. The play side B gap is a possibility because we got a hat on a hat right now, and it looks like we're getting a little movement. Backside A, possibility. Cut back, not a possibility. Problem is 32's in the backside A and 90's in the backside. So really, you're talking about pressing here. Now, that does change. Well, not really, because the play side B is right here, actually. I don't know what I was pointing at. So Coward starts to lose his block. Yeah, that's play side A. Play side B is here. So now that shifts down, so play side B opens, but put your head down, hit the hole, get as much as you can. And again, like, I think I've been pretty consistent when I've said, like, we're not a great line. We're not road graders. We're not the Colts. But we're not a dumpster fire. Like, yes, it'd be nice to blow everybody up off the line and move them 8 yards down the field, but it's just not realistic for any team. And it's not really realistic for us. But that doesn't mean we don't create gaps. People act like we just get knocked down at the snap and the running backs getting evaded. That's not always the case. So, I mean, yeah, we don't have power. I've been saying that forever. All right, so another gap play. That's what you call a gap play. When you got hat on hat, double team plus a lead block. Kind of like an ISO. Depending on where you're going, it might be a blast if it's a B gap play, whatever. Everybody calls it something different, but we do have a tight end. So we get this double team here, and we got the same problem. And Whitehair needs to do a better job. I mean, Coward didn't completely leave him alone this time on the double team, but Whitehair needs to do a better job of moving his feet. Because when you're in the double now, if you know it's a combo block, you need to move your feet to get in this gap. And he doesn't, which leaves this outside arm free, which allows that defender to make a tackle. Because if Cody Whitehair moves his feet and he overtakes that block before the combo, now you're talking about a wide open lane to the third level. And so, yeah, man, sometimes it's misassignments, but a lot of time we do have issues with technique. But again, there's a lot of these guys that's not a lot, but yeah, there's a lot of these guys that's not really super talented, and we know that as well. And having bad technique doesn't help. So we run the inside zone again. And I don't have a problem with the inside zone. Actually, this isn't an inside zone. This is more of like a dive play. So again, what I would call a gap play. A gap play is when you got hat on hat and you're trying to open up a certain gap. Hence why they call it a gap play. And so you're going to have double team here, double team there, kick out. And I'm guessing somebody's kicking out here. So we get the double teams. A gap's open with comboing. Now that is all on Montgomery. And see, this is when I try to tell people football is a team sport. It is not all on one person usually. So as you can see, as he's pressing this hole, the double team is still sustained here. This block is sustained by Coward, and Whitehair is now comboing to the linebacker. This is where the play is supposed to go. That's where everybody's blocking. He follows this path and hits it with conviction. You're talking about off to the races against a defensive back. But instead he bounces and gives that backside pursuit time to catch him. And so I'll play it one time in real speed so you can see. So again, not always on the line. And so I think, as I mentioned before, Montgomery has to understand tempo. And so there's times where you need to be patient in certain plays to let blocks develop. And there's times where you need to hit the hole. Like that huge play he had, I forgot who was against. I think it was the Chargers. When he hit that power play for like 60-some yards or whatever, if he didn't hit that hole with conviction, he would have never made it. And those are times where you just got to know what to do. So this is a split zone. So we're zoning one way, cutting back the other way. And that happened kind of fast. So let me go back real quick. Let's see. Pause. All right, so play side B obviously is closed. Backside A, closed. And so really, this is where your play is, this entire cutback. So you help, he cuts him, and then you just follow that wave. Now he presses the line and never really makes the cutback. And to be fair, Holtz misses the block on the backside anyway. But still, I think he would have time. Well, he didn't miss the block. Actually, I take it back. He cut him. He did his job. And so that's where you would have liked to see this bounce back here. That's where your play is. But that's the thing to me. Some players, it's hard. Some players don't have football vision. Because I could sit here and with a player, with Dave Montgomery himself, and talk about inside zone, the three-way go. And, we could discuss it so much that you would think when he gets on the field, he would start to see that and understand it. Because it's all schematics. Like, unless it's an all-out blitz, one of those three goals are going to be open. And so some players just don't get it. So we have another inside zone. And this looks terrible. All right. Play side B. Play side B is the play. It's not a great one, but that's the play. And I didn't notice if they had changed his handoff for all of the zone plays, But I wonder if they did that to slow him down. Because you see the way he's opening on his zone instead of coming across in a regular zone step. But I wonder if they did that on purpose, which would be a really smart coaching move. Because some players just don't know how to. They don't know how to stop. All right, so I mean, really, you could press the A or press the B. I mean, the way he's got his butt to the play, so you probably don't want to go to the B gap. You definitely can't do the cutback because they're doing a read. So I'm not gonna fault him. That's a tough one. Not much green grass there. It's hard to see what quarter we're in. I think we're getting towards the end. All right, looks like inside zone again. Looks like he makes a secondary decision. Let's see what it was. We're going to become inside zone experts, people. All right, so play side B. Yeah, backside A, close, cut back. Now, we got the same issue again with this double team. You should be moving to play side. So if it's zone right, you should step right. If the man that you were supposed to block or that was in your area goes the opposite of the zone, then you let him go the opposite of the zone and you continue up to your next path. Because this shouldn't happen. I mean, yes, I get it that y'all need help on the line, but this should not happen. This should be Whitehair going up to Davis and an easy follow for Montgomery. So Whitehair gets there late. Coward collapses down, which opens the play side B back up, and Montgomery, again with nice patience and not just running into the back of the line, he ran with some patience and was able to make that choice. And I said in my recap while I was watching the game, I was like, I don't think we're blocking that much better, but it looks like Montgomery's making better choices. And so looking at the film, it seems like that's the way it worked out. So it looks like a power play to the opposite side. This time we got Coward coming around. Coward not knowing which gap to go through, which is funny because it made the linebacker hesitate, which gave us some time to make a play. But holy crap, come on. That's designed, man. I don't know if it looks like they did a game or some type of stunt, and so they crashed the opposite way. So it works out for us. Either way, Coward gets around quick. Just continue wherever you were supposed to go, man. Know your assignments. Now, if he went through the A gap, we would have been gone, but just know your assignment. Or play, do a audible, but be smart about it and go with that A gap. Whatever you do, just do make a decision. All right, so we run power again. We're like, hell yeah, that looked good. I'm just kidding. And it crashed down again. Now this is they that's good defense or defensive scheming right there. See, last time you got caught. Now they brought up this extra defender. And the thing is, you got 5 people on the line. So nobody's going to be able to account for him. The puller is accounting for the linebacker here, but that's now you got an extra guy in the box. And so it doesn't matter where Coward decided to go. There's going to be an open guy. And that's just good scheme. More. I don't know why I thought we was towards the end. Towards the end zone. We ran the toss to green grass. And again, I think for me personally, I like tosses schematically. When I know we're in formations and whatnot where we know we can beat them. And this is where we look good. I mean, Leno is a good mobile lineman when it comes to mobility. Daniels is good when it comes to mobility. So is Whitehair. We can get out in space. That's when we're good. That's why I talked about more of a zone stretch that we got away from still. That's when we look good. When we get out in space and make people move. All right, that was it. So, yeah, I mean, pretty much. Wow, we went for a long time, but yeah, pretty much what I was talking about. I just saw whether the coaches did it schematically or just teaching wise. They slowed David Montgomery up a little bit, and so he made better decisions as a result when it comes to the zone plays. Power plays, we don't have strength. We're not good at power. Gap plays, I think we can do. We just need better double team technique. So yeah. So go to the comment section. Let me know what you think. Share it around. Get the conversation started. Thumbs up. Subscribe. And remember, stay up and bear down.